what advice would you have for a new or aspiring PM?
I would say the first is to find a strong mentor and vet your managers as much as they vet you when you're looking for a position as a product manager. Um, I can't tell you how many times and how important it's been for me looking back to have a sounding board, someone I can collaborate with or just go to and say, hey, this is new to me. This is something maybe I haven't seen as a particular process with how something is done. What do you think about this? Or here's how I'm thinking about executing this or presenting this. What are your thoughts on that? And the other piece is not just someone that you can go to and kind of um, talk through ideas and troubleshoot, but also someone, particularly a manager, who is supportive. Who I've had a couple of managers in the past who've said very explicitly, I just want you to know I have your back. And that doesn't mean that they always agree with you or anything like that, but it does mean that they're typically advocates for you individually and the product team as a whole. And there'll be times when if you go into a smaller company, you might be the sole product manager on the team other than maybe the director or something like that. And that advocacy is really important. So you've got to be able to both advocate for yourself and then make sure you've got a manager who's willing to do the same. And so I think them having a really knowledgeable manager in product is helpful as well. Be as detail oriented, as diligent as you possibly can. There are so many intricacies, as you know, to product, and that's not just speaking to the number of responsibilities that are often incorporated in a product role, but it also is about all the minutia when you're writing user stories. If you are writing test cases, are you making sure that you're accounting for what's happening on the front end and the back end? And it's just such a broad scope. And so to make sure that you really understand what your set of responsibilities are, how you're collaborating with, maybe QA and the development team, customer success, etc., and what you're just specifically responsible for and what they are is really, really important. Be a really good active listener. And that's true with your colleagues internally. I think oftentimes we're all so moving so quickly and we're anxious to share our ideas, or we need to really get the work done for this next sprint. And details can fall through the cracks. And so making sure that you're really listening to what people are saying and deciphering what they mean or what they want rather than just what they say, and asking those questions is really important. And that's true for gathering feedback from customers as well. I think a lot of people will be able to empathize with this, but when you're talking to customers, if you say, well, do you want this feature? That's very different from saying, tell me how you do things currently. And showing or like observing them using a new feature for the first time and not leading them in one direction, and just really trying to get a sense from them what they need and what they would use rather than what they're saying they would
Absolutely.
want to use or what they need.
Absolutely. And I think, from my experience, especially as a new PM, it's really easy to get in there and want to show the world that I'm ready for this position and I know what I'm doing and I have all the answers, right? And so it's really easy to be the expert on your product. And I love that you say just watching them and not leading them to the answer, really find out how the customers use the tool or the feature and really building around that. Great feedback.